Well, we need his help today, don't we? This is a man who's very popular. He's got a wonderful radio program, and he's written a book, Clark Howard's Living Large in Lean Times. He's a self-made millionaire who likes to be called cheap. And on the Clark Howard Show, he shares a wealth of money-saving tips. Take a look.
Save more and spend less is more than just a motto for Clark Howard. It's a way of life. Clark is a successful entrepreneur with a nationally syndicated radio talk show, a popular TV show, and best-selling books, where he gives valuable money-saving tips.
You should not do one ever in your whole life. How's that?
And in these tough economic times, he wants to show you how you can live large.
Well, the book is called Clark Howard's Living Large in Lean Times. Clark's here with us. Welcome to the 700 Club.
Thank you very much for having me.
How'd you get started on this road of saving money for people?
It all happened when my dad lost his job when I was a teenager.
Yeah.
And it turned out that even though we were living a very fancy lifestyle, that my parents hadn't saved any money at all. And when my dad lost his job, we were in a heap of trouble.
What was his job? What was he doing?
He worked for, this is funny, he worked for my mother's father. So he thought his job was secure.
Your mother's father fired him? His father-in-law?
Well, he had passed away, and then his brothers-in-law sent him away. And so I was a freshman in college, and my dad told me there was no money for me to go back in the spring. So I switched to being a night student, got a full-time job during the day, and worked my way through undergraduate school and then graduate school. Greatest thing that ever happened to me, and thank goodness, knock on wood, my mom and dad got back on their feet financially after a couple of years, but I learned the lesson. And you learn something as a teenager, it can stay with you the rest of your life. And I learned at that point, you save, 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 because the rainy day eventually comes.
Well, but your book is said living large. It sounds like it's a spending.
Well, isn't that an interesting concept? The idea is that with so many things we do, you can stretch the dollar. Okay. It's the idea that you can live a very nice life without concentrating on getting the latest, greatest, the hottest, whatever. Okay. You can live a pleasant life. You can provide for your family, and you can still have money left over at the end of the day.
Give us a few of the tips of what you tell people. You're on the radio.
Well, you know, this is one of the bigs right now. Cell phones are an area where so many of us overpay so much. And there are wonderful deals on cell phone service if you go with a non-contract company. As an example, Walmart has become a big player in cell phones, and generally their plans are about half the cost of going with one of the majors. And you get all the minutes, all the texting, all the web and email and all that.
One versus how much? How much on either?
Well, if someone goes with a fancy-dancy smartphone, they're going to typically pay $100 or so a month for cell phone, believe it or not.
Huge.
The most you can pay in a Walmart store for unlimited everything, $45 a month.
Enormous savings.
Big difference.
That's $600 a year. That adds up after a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
And there are so many things like that one step at a time we can make a difference. Let's take pay television.
Okay.
People spend on average about $1,000 a year for pay TV, cable or satellite. But because we have the two satellite players, we have cable, even if you want to stay with traditional television, you can put them all in competition with each other. And they will bid for your business if you ask.
They actually, in other words, Dish and DirecTV
will compete with each other and the cable operator. You put them into a three-way fight for your dollar. And suddenly, maybe you were paying $1, you get that for 50 cents. So the idea is you make them want you more than you want them, and then you get a deal. And let me tell you one of my goofiest things.
What's that?
Simple razor, right?
That is the
very simple razor.
Cheapest you can get.
So typically, a guy will replace a razor maybe once a week, twice a week, you go to a new razor. My last razor lasted me a year.
Was your face full of cuts?
It was not full of cuts, although I probably should have bailed on the razor after about 10 months. I was starting to get nicked a little.
Yeah.
But if you dry a razor after every use, whether you use a fancy blade or you use a simple blade, you dry it after every use, it will last for month after month after month, because razors don't degrade from the shaving, they degrade from moisture. So if you take the simple extra step of drying the razor after you use it,
It's incredible.
you stretch the butt.
What do you dry it with? You dry it with a towel? You blow
Well,
dry
I
it?
do it with a towel, but the most effective way is if you blow dry it.
Yeah.
But you use up energy to do that. That costs you money. So just do the simple towel, and you can reuse it again and again.
Big numbers that people spend on us, their mortgage and car payments. What do you tell them about
Well,
that?
the car is one of the areas that really eats up our wallet.
Right.
And a lot of times we get tired of a car before it's tired out. So if I can get people to make one change with automobiles, it's that when you feel like you're done with it, don't be done with it. Keep driving it.
Okay.
And especially once you've finished your loan, because most people take out a loan to buy a car.
Yeah.
Keep driving it year after year after that. And the goal, drive a new car 10 years minimum. Drive a used car 4 years minimum. Most people ditch a car in 3 years or so. Bad idea, because cars cost a fortune. But if you drive one for 10 years or longer, they're so reliable now. That one change will make a huge difference in your
You're
life
talking about
over
thousands
long.
of dollars and that, maybe tens of thousands.
Fortune.
Yeah.
Typical car payment, let's say somebody is spending $5,000 a year on car payments.
Okay.
You eliminate that, suddenly, magically, there's $5,000 back in your life. And one thing people should not do right now is ditch a perfectly good car to get one that's more fuel efficient. In spite of what we're paying at the gas pump, it's better to keep driving a car, because the biggest cost of a car isn't the gasoline, it's the cost of that vehicle itself.
Totally agree. Talk about mortgages.
Well, mortgages are, because of all the financial turmoil,
All right.
mortgages are a steal right now.
Yeah.
Unbelievable deal. If you in any way can get yourself to the closing table on a refinance, the deals are the best of our lifetimes. And phenomenal deals, especially if someone will look at a credit union 10-year mortgage or a traditional lender 15-year mortgage. The deals start with a 3 point something percent, which is really great. The problem, 1 in 5 Americans are upside down on their mortgages. So it means that you have to go to the closing table with cash to be able to refi your loan. And right now, that's worth it.
What would somebody say? Well, the rule of thumb used to be, well, you need to stay in your house another 5 or 6 years or something like that. What do you tell people about?
Generally, I want someone to make back the closing costs in 30 months or less.
Okay.
If you can't make it back in 2.5 years, it's probably not a good idea for you to refi. And you know who has the best opportunity?
Who's that?
Young people buying a first home.
Hey, man.
Home prices are depressed in most of the country. And with mortgage rates at the lowest they've ever been, there has never been a better time to buy a home.
You can get a mortgage at 3% now? Is that what you think?
15 year, about 3.5%, a
That's
little less.
unbelievable.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
30 years, about 4.5.
Unbelievable.
It's a deal.
Clark, living large. Ladies and gentlemen, this man will tell you how to, I mean, you could save, you're talking about $5,000, $6,000 a year in somebody's pocket.
That's my goal.
Yeah.
Even if someone just takes a few tips,
Yeah.
the goal is to get $3,000 more in your life each year, which a lot of people living on the edge are past.
Sure.
You bring $3,000 back into your wallet, it changes your financial picture completely.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, change your financial pictures and live large. Clark Howard's book. Where do you get this, by the way?
Well, the best way to get it is at the library for free. But otherwise, shop around on the web, local bookstores.
Okay. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
God bless you. Wonderful. Well, we also have more tips from Clark in a web exclusive interview. To watch that, go to cbn.com, click on to In the Green Room link.